This is the Quotations of Chairman Maotse-Tung, also known as the Little Red Book. Chapter 7. Dare to Struggle and Dare to Win. People of the world, unite and defeat the U.S. aggressors and all of their running dogs. People of the world, be courageous, dare to fight, defy difficulties and advance wave upon wave. Then the whole world will belong to the people. Monsters of all kinds shall be destroyed. From a statement supporting the people of the Congo, in brackets L, against U.S. aggression, November 28, 1964. People of the world, unite and defeat the U.S. aggressors and all their lackeys. Second edition, page 14. Now, one thing I will say is I think the translation has been altered here, because that last quote is normally rendered as workers of the world unite, and it's quite a common phrase among communist groups, as I understand it. We continue. The Communist Party of China, having made a clear-headed appraisal of the international and domestic situation on the basis of the science of Marxist-Leninism, it recognized that all attacks by the reactionaries at home and abroad had to be defeated and could be defeated. When dark clouds appeared in the sky, we pointed out that they were only temporary, that the darkness would soon pass and the sun break through. From the quotations from The Present Situation and Our Tasks, December 25th, 1947. Selected Military Writings, second edition, page 347. Historically, all reactionary forces on the verge of extinction invariably conduct a last desperate struggle against the revolutionary forces, and some revolutionaries are apt to be deluded for a time by this phenomenon of outward strength, but inner weakness, failing to grasp the essential fact that the enemy is nearing extinction while they themselves are approaching victory. I'm going to reread that because the phrasing was rather peculiar. Historically, all reactionary forces on the verge of extinction invariably conduct a last desperate struggle against the revolutionary forces, and some revolutionaries are apt to be deluded for a time by this phenomenon of outward strength but inner weakness, failing to grasp the essential fact that the enemy is nearing extinction while they themselves are approaching victory. That makes a lot more sense. Anyway, a quotation from The Turning Point in World War II, October 12th, 1942. Selected Works, Volume 3, page 103. If they, the Kuomintang, fight, we will wipe them out completely. This is the way things are. If they attack and we wipe them out, they will have that satisfaction. Wipe out some satisfaction. Wipe out more satisfaction. Wipe out the whole lot, complete satisfaction. China's problems are complicated, and our brains must also be a little complicated. If they start fighting, we fight back. We fight to win peace. Quotations from On the Chungking Negotiations, October 17th, 1945. Selected Works, Volume 4, page 56. If anyone attacks us, and if the conditions are favorable for battle, we will certainly act in self-defense to wipe him out resolutely, thoroughly, wholly and completely. We do not strike rashly, but when we do strike, we must win. We must never be cowed by the bluster of reactionaries. Quotation from On Peace Negotiations with the Kuomintang, Circular of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, August 26, 1945. Selected Works, Volume 4, page 49. As far as our own desire is concerned, we do not wish to fight even for a single day. But if circumstances force us to fight, we can fight to the finish. Quotation from Talks with the American correspondent Anna Louise Strong, August 1946, Selected Works, Volume 4, page 97. We are for peace, but as long as U.S. imperialism refuses to give up its arrogant and unreasonable demands and its scheme to extend aggression, the only course for the Chinese people is to remain determined to go on fighting side by side with the Korean people. Not that we are warlike. We are willing to stop the war at once and leave the remaining questions for later settlement. But U.S. imperialism is not willing to do so. All right then, let the fighting go on. However many years U.S. imperialism wants to fight, we are ready to fight right up to the moment when it is willing to stop, right up to the moment of complete victory for the Chinese and Korean peoples. From a speech at the 4th session of the First National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, February 7th, 1953. We should rid our ranks of all impotent thinking, all views that overestimate the strength of the enemy and underestimate the strength of the people are wrong. Quotation from The Present Situation and Our Tasks, December 25th, 1947. Selected Works, Volume 4, page 173. The oppressed peoples and nations must not pin their hopes for liberation on the sensibleness of imperialism and its lackeys. They will only triumph by strengthening their unity and persevering in their struggle. Quotation from a statement opposing the aggression against southern Vietnam and slaughter of its people by the U.S. Ngo Din Diem clique. August 29th, 1963. Peoples of the world unite and defeat the U.S. aggressors and all their lackeys. Second edition, page 6. No matter when this country-wide civil war breaks out, we must be well prepared. If it comes early, say tomorrow morning, we should also be prepared. That is point 1. In the present international and domestic situation, it is possible that for a time the civil war may be kept restricted in scale and localized. That is point 2. Point 1 is what we should prepare for. Point 2 is what has existed for a long time. In short, we must be prepared. Being prepared, we shall be able to deal properly with all kinds of complicated situations. Quotation from The Situation and Our Policy After the Victory in the War of Resistance Against Japan, August 13th, 1945. Selected Works, Volume 4, page 22. And that concludes Chapter 7. Chapter 8, The People's War, will begin in the following video of this series. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful evening.